crypto warriors, changing our world day by day. The way of the crypto warriors, can't rely on the bankers, no way.
Good morning, Bix Weir, roadtour.com. With your morning horn of Z's, your sip of chaga coffee. All right, as they're ramping up the new version of the Corona beer thing, you need to get yourself into physical shape to take whatever they throw at us. They being the bad guys. Good guy, bad guy fight, you know the deal. So chaga, vitamin C, definitely go outside. You get more vitamin D from a half an hour outside than you need. Or put your clothes back on and stay outside for an hour. Definitely, because everybody's like, oh my God, it's coming into winter months, which is when viruses kick in. It's because the sunlight is gone, and your body isn't creating vitamin D. Vitamin D. How many times did I tell you? Yes, supplements are great, but they're not as good as the real thing. Right from the sunlight. Nature's cure, God's cure, spiritual cure. Go get some sunlight. All right. Speaking of sunlight, silver saw a little tiny pop. Did you see that? We get excited about the little things in silver now. This is there's less than a handful now. I don't think the big banks are really doing much, but I do know Virtu Financial, the high frequency trading arm of the cabal, is doing a lot. I would assume BlackRock is as well. We're looking for $26 silver and then to see who's going to short into the rise. I don't know. When you have a criminal, corrupt marketplace with criminal regulators, corrupt politicians, what do you do? Will we ever get honesty back into our systems? Probably not. Well, one day. But we are so vulnerable. The market manipulation puts the United States as the most vulnerable country in the history of the world right now. We are 100% reliant and dependent upon these markets staying high. And, oh, by the way, we just happen to rig the price of physical silver. So, Venezuela, China, whoever is our enemy, they can end us anytime they want. How? By just buying all the physical silver left in the world and then bidding on the next ounce. Bid $1 million an ounce. The banks crash, the treasury crashes, the U.S. government fails, boom. You overthrew a country just by buying silver. Hey, that's what you get for suppressing the price for 150 years, United States of America. That's what you get. You want to play these games, you're playing with fire. No, I'm not an advocate of the United States losing, but hey, you have exposed yourself. Our country is completely exposed. Now, when you think about it, though, at the end of the day, and what is talked about in the Road to Ruta documents that came out of the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston, when this all ends, nobody will trade with us. Globalization will be over. So who really wins if the whole economic system crashes? Probably the entity with the most debt. And who is the entity with the most debt? The United States of America. So ultimately they'll win, but your way of life will change. And that's what's going on. And that's how close we are to this craziness. So yeah, we could see silver prices at zero. We could see silver prices at $1 million an ounce. It's a click of a mouse. It's that easy. But that's the end game. And that's what's so important, to get physical silver in your own possession, away from any third party. Nobody should hold your silver. Listen to me. The worst is getting physical silver and putting it in a safe deposit box. Oh my God. Have you learned nothing? The banks will go away, and the first thing they do is raid the safe deposit boxes. Oh, they wouldn't do that in America. Oh, yeah, right. They already do it. They just claim, oh, we're sorry. We thought the box wasn't in use because nobody came to open it in the last 6 months. There was nothing in there. Yeah, right. So you need to think differently now. Silver in your own possession. Crypto, I'll get to that in a second, in your own possession. Where are we? We're on the brink. Any day, I think by the end of the year, we're going to see the dislocation in our economic system. And I don't believe in the revaluation. Clearly, it won't be anything that is on the table now. It won't be, any of the bullshit that they're touting, because I've heard it for so long. There will be no people deciding this. People are sending me stuff. IMF has decided that the new Bretton Woods is what. Sorry, IMF. You were the problem, not the solution. XRP, but Bix, buy XRP because it's part of the new financial system. Right, a handful of bankers are going to be the ones running the world again. Come on, wake up. Wake up. Yeah, so buy silver. I don't even think the Fed knows anymore what they're going to do, but it's clearly not going to be a situation where a certain group of people are going to benefit by buying the Iraqi dinar. And there's no Jesra or Nesra. There is. That's what a handful of people want, but good luck convincing 7 billion people. You won't be the deciders, I hate to tell you. Anyway, we'll find out, right? Hey, place your bets. Hey, we're at a global casino. Place your bets. Come on, everybody, go buy your XRP if you want. Go buy a criminal banking cabal. Go hang out with the crazy crypto cabal. Hey, it's dog eat dog out there. The government's going away. You better learn to fend for yourself. And that's what we're doing. Physical silver in your own possession. If you don't have any, go to your local coin shop. Say, hey, my name's Joe Schmo. Who are you? And then talk to 2 or 3 local coin dealers. And then play off each other. Say, hey. And you'll figure out who you like the most and who's going to give you the best price. And as soon as they start messing with you, say, I'm going to go down the street to Frank's shop, and he's going to give me silver at $5 over instead of $5.50 over. Or if you don't have local guys, you can use my guy, Andy Scheckman. Send him an email, Andy, A-N-D-Y, at milesfranklin.com. My suggestion is, although he's a great guy and 100% trustworthy, buy what he has in inventory so he can ship it right away. Who knows how long it'll take to get silver these days? It is in times when silver goes crazy that all these brokers and dealers shut down and go belly up and you lose your money. You need to know who you're dealing with. You need to get the real thing, real silver in your own possession. If you don't know anything about silver, you might be buying shit. You might be buying lead-based bars. You might be buying molybdenum-based 100-ounce silver bars. You don't know. You need to buy it from someone reputable. Andy Scheckman, Andy at milesfranklin.com, milesfranklin.com. And he's all over the place, doing interviews everywhere because he wants to get physical silver into the hands of the people. He's been in this business for a hell of a long time. I've known him for 10 years. 10 years we've been hanging out, probably over 10 years. And he knows what he's doing. He's helped out so many Road to Ruta people. When I was screaming about silver at $15, $16, and then I was screaming about silver at $20, and I was screaming about silver at $25. I'll be screaming about silver at $30 and $40 and $50 and $100 and $200. Until the manipulation ends, you need to buy and hold and possess physical silver in your own possession. No, I don't think any of the mining companies are going to survive this collapse. Number one, all the shares have been rehypothecated, meaning there's multiple owners of the shares. It's a huge problem, by the way. I think Trump just signed an executive order requiring brokerage houses to take delivery of certificates out of the DTCC's hands. That is a problem because they have multiple owners of all those mining companies. If you own a mining share, 10 to 1, there's 5 or 6 other people who own the exact same share that you have. Welcome to our world. And at the end of the day, no other country is going to allow a foreign mining company to take their wealth out of the ground. They will all be nationalized. Obviously. If the system falls apart, obviously, no, Mexico's not going to allow the United States mining company investors to profit while their country goes under. No, they're just going to nationalize. It's already happening in South America. All right. I hope you guys all know that. It should be obvious. I want to show something I did a long time ago. Because of this, because the COMEX is a derivative market trading billions of ounces per day. Well, up here it was like this right here is 1 billion ounces. 200,000 contracts, 1 billion ounces in one day. And it's just stupid amount of contracts trading back and forth between the banks. This was the banks back here. And look at the volumes have gone down since the banks have been slapped on the wrist. Yes, JP Morgan got slapped on the wrist. Big deal. The next delivery month for silver is December. So look for a lot of action between now and then, not to mention everything else that's going on. But I want to show you something that I had looked at. This is like 2013. Jeffrey Christian was doing a speech at the Silver Summit in Spokane, Washington. And he put up this chart because we're all yelling, who is hedging? All the miners aren't hedging. Nobody's hedging. So, and what gives these banks the authority to naked short everything in sight? Huge amounts. I mean, look at the volumes. Hundreds of millions per day. Why? Nobody asked the question why. So Jeffrey Christian came up and said, oh yes, I'm going to prove it to you. Here's the estimated long physical position at the banks. He says, this is what the banks own. First of all, it's a lie. Second of all, it's ridiculous that every single ounce that the banks are involved in should be traded every day 5 or 6 times per day for that specific ownership of gold. But Jeffrey seems to think that gives them the ability to do whatever the fuck they want. But let's take a look. Silver, now this is supposedly what the banks owned, according to Jeffrey Christian, who's a bank insider, blah, blah, blah. Silver in unallocated accounts, 300 million ounces. Okay, if you have silver in unallocated accounts, that means you own that silver. It's just in an unallocated account. If they're shorting it, they're selling it again. So they're double dipping. If you have silver in an unallocated account held by anybody, you are insane. I don't believe this number at all, 300 million ounces. It's just a lie. And I'll show you because the Silver Institute came out with a couple of these datas back in 2014, and they were completely different from what Jeffrey Christian said, like by magnitudes. No surprise there, right? Anyway, silver forwards with producers. Nobody does forwards anymore. Nobody. But he had 200 million ounces there. Maybe back in 2014 when he put this chart together, there was some silver hedging done by the producers. But now there's nobody. I mean, what's the whole reason for having a futures and options market is so that the producers can hedge their inventories and hedge their mining product and all that stuff. But they aren't because they know, back in the 2000s, my God, billions were lost by the mining companies because they had all these shorts on. They were hedging their production. And it turned out to be an idiotic move, but it was promoted a lot by the bankers because the bankers, that's how they suppress the price. So that is zero now. So this is illegal. It should be illegal. Selling somebody else's metal should be illegal. And then silver smelting and refining forwards. This is hard to prove. It's very hard to prove. But the key is, Jeffrey says there's 100 million, 111 million owned by the banks. At the refiners. Okay, let's just say they do. Why do they trade it 5-10 times per day? What is the justification for the volumes of trades? You clearly, I mean, if you're running a smelting facility and refining facility, you have inventory going in and inventory coming out. Shorts to hedge your price risk shouldn't be opened and closed every time a specific ounce leaves. It's only the big swings that you're going to... So there's should be very little hedges put on because you have your base hedge, which is already there. Anyway. All right, what else we got? Silver on lease to electronics companies. I fully don't understand that. Why would... Now, there might be a justification, right? Because, the electronics company can't afford to hold all the silver in their inventory. So what do? They lease it, but that all that silver is going into the consumption part of the electronics. So I don't know how Jeffrey will justify that as something that the banks could throw extra hedges on. But that's the way Jeffrey lives. Silver on lease to jewelers. It is true that some jewelers do this, but Jeffrey had 1 billion ounces. The Silver Institute had it at 215 million ounces. Again, why they would do it to jewelers, I wouldn't expect jewelers to have highly fluctuating inventory levels. So again, okay, that's a one-time hedge. Why is it trading 5 or 6 times per day? Unleashed fabricators, silver backing investment notes and bonds. That's classic, because if they're going to hedge that and have a neutral position, as Blythe Masters says, why even have it at all? But if you're going to hedge it for price manipulation purposes, why would you be suppressing your own silver-backed investment notes and bonds? Unless the whole idea of the game is to trick the market. Anyway, this whole thing, Jeffrey Christian said, oh my God, it's 3.3 billion ounces of physical silver owned by the banks, right? 3.3 billion physical ounces. How many ounces of silver trades on the COMEX every year? 100 billion plus. So it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. I just wanted to show you that guy. Jeffrey Christian of CPM Group was bought and paid for by the Goldman Sachs of the world. It's interesting, the way CPM Group came about was, it was Aon, which got bought by Goldman Sachs, I think in the 90s or something. And Goldman was in charge of rigging the markets, silver and gold. So they said, oh my God, we have to invent something to justify what we're doing, because no one's going to believe the banks. So, hey, this guy Jeffrey Christian, who was an analyst for Aon, they said, why don't we split you off in your own company? And Robert Rubin was involved in this, and we can teach you how to spread leasing of metals to the world, to the central banks. And so Jeffrey Christian spearheaded the leasing of silver, and boom, you had Robert Rubin's strong dollar policy, and ultimately the criminal mining companies like Barrick Gold, which was actually a laundering company for all the Yamashita's gold. Other than that, they ended up losing hundreds of billions. It was hundreds of billions of dollars in the early 2000s as the price of gold rose, because they had these huge short positions, and it all went sideways. And all of a sudden, everybody and their mother said, oh my God, what have we done? Thank you, Jeffrey Christian, for your contribution to the mining industry. And nice toupee. All right, moving on. I want to talk about Theta. Now, a lot of you have noticed I talk about silver and I talk about Theta, because I think they're the two best opportunities. Silver, 150 years of price suppression. Theta, 150 years of future potential growth, unbelievable growth in the future. So silver will be the past, and when the silver manipulation ends, I'm going to be out of silver. That's my goal, is to end the silver manipulation and be there when the price appreciation happens. Where will I throw all my money? Probably in Theta, because it is the future of the internet, and I think the next 150 years will be all about the internet. And Theta guys are doing the right thing. And by the way, it hasn't even gone on Coinbase yet. When it goes on Coinbase, I want to show you something that one of my contacts in Theta is beyond a Theta-holic. But he's awesome. And by the way, he pointed out that the Binance hot wallet, where they keep their tokens, I don't know if it's all of them, but a large chunk of them, is this address. And it has gone in the last couple of months from 60 million coins. It's now at 11 million. There's a lot of people taking Theta out of Binance. Well, Binance is probably the largest holder of Theta. Binance is the world's number one crypto exchange and number one at rigging the crypto market. So yes, they rig the price of Theta and Theta Fuel and all cryptos. So just be used to that. But again, the Achilles heel of any price suppression is removing the physical. And this is what's going on right now. It looks like, from if what the information he gave me is correct, this is the last. He's been watching this for a long time, and it's gone literally in the last few months from 60 million down to 11 million, and it's falling fast. And obviously, when this is put out there and people start thinking about it, it'll probably fall to zero. And then what will they do? What will Binance do? Now, remember, Binance holds they're supposed to be holding. They don't, but they're supposed to be holding customer Theta as well. If you have any Theta, if you have any crypto in any exchange, you should get them out ASAP. But during this time that he said that the price, the amount of Theta has, what is it, 50 million has left this wallet in the last couple months. Have you noticed this? In the last few months, when I started promoting and saying, hey, take a look at Gpool, they were at 17 million tokens, and now they're at 52. So there's potentially 35 million of the 60. And the ones in Gpool, these are held by you and I, just normal Joes out there. And we have strong hands. So these aren't fake Theta. So when the telltale sign, I think when this wallet runs out, which should be in the next couple weeks, they'll run out of Theta in this wallet. We're going to have to look at Binance and see what's their next move. If this is all they had, then they will go to their Guardian node. Or their, not their Guardian node, but their, what's it called? The other node. Validator node. So they are one of the largest validator node holders at 93 million tokens. They will have to take this down. So we can prove this theory that the Binance Theta there's a run on Binance Theta by keeping an eye on their 93 million Theta validator node. Because if they run out, if Binance runs out, they're going to be searching for where do I get Theta? One, to cover my customers' stuff, but two, because people are going to still be withdrawing. So they'll probably, I would guess, they'll probably have to sell some of this validator node's 93 million Theta. They're not going to be happy about that. Or they can bid up the price and buy it somewhere else, which would be, shockingly high prices for Theta. But basically that would validate this guy's theory that the Binance, there's a run on Binance Theta. Really interesting stuff. And the key is, people have asked me, well, how can you tell if Binance pulls their the 93 million out of their validator node? It has to be that way. That's the way the program works on staking, because this is the only wallet attached to it. So in order to they can't take 2 million Theta out of here, because when you unstake, you have to unstake the entire wallet. So keep an eye over the next couple months. If Binance unstakes this wallet of 93 million Theta, that would prove that this wallet was drained by third parties. Interesting, huh? Always looking for an edge, right? Anyway, if you want to get involved in Theta, you don't know anything about cryptocurrencies. If you want to be the guy in 1990 who said, I think I'm going to invest in the World Wide Web when it came out in 1990, you want to be that guy. I had a chance to do that. I don't know if you guys have heard the story, but yes, friends of mine were starting a pool. We're going to invest in companies related to this thing called the World Wide Web. They get a fund together. They, Bix, you want to put any money in? I'm like, it's nothing I understand. I don't get it. I wouldn't be doing this probably. So I would have wasted my life on a beach, in Hawaii, owning a whatever I want, my little bar that I sing in, for the last 30 years. So I guess it was good that I didn't get in then. But now I am coming to the twilight of my career, and I do want to sit on the beach and own a bar and sing in the bar and not have to worry about anything else. So I am investing on the ground floor of the Internet 2.0. If you want to do it, join the Road to Root, a private road. I walk you through the steps how to get yourself a Guardian node. The minimum for a Guardian node is 10,000 Theta right now. I think it's going down to 1,000, but at that point, the price will probably be up there high anyway. So right now at 60, what are we at? 66 cents. It costs about $6,600 to start a Guardian node. And if Michelle White Dove is correct that Theta goes to $1,000 plus, that $6,600 is going to turn into $10 million. If she's correct. And I believe she's more than correct. I think She did say thousands. It goes into thousands of dollars. So I would expect to, 5-10 years from now, see Theta at, $5,000-$10,000 a coin. Times that by what you're holding in Theta, and your mind starts to go, wait a minute, that's a hell of a lot of money. Anyway, and I walk you through, so if you don't know about cryptos, or if you do, I walk you through how to get it. And a lot of people are having problems getting it in the United States. I show you how to get it. If you live within the United States. So go to roadtoroot.com, hit subscribe today. And also, I will be sending you for your little safe at home 25 Theta and 25 Theta fuel already loaded on a paper wallet. That's all I got for you today. Stay safe out there. It's going to get crazy. Bix Weir, I'll talk to you later.